Let's talk Rangers and Yankees.
Okay.
This actually, I think, is an interesting handicap for you here, Bry, simply because these teams played essentially a week ago. Yankees get the series win in that one. So Yankees, I mean, it's again, this total's sitting at 9. You feel like the Yankees could hit that by themselves on any given evening if they're raking. Is tonight one of those evenings, or are you looking towards a dog? How are we looking to bet this one?
Well, look, the Yankees, in my view, and the view of probably a lot of people, sounds like yours, Dan, as well. They've clearly been the best team in the American League this season. We understand it. They've got a plus 76 run differential. No other AL team is north of plus 17 in run differential. So quite the gap in that metric. The Pinstripes just finished off the 4-game sweep of the Orioles yesterday. They win by a score of 12-1. All 4 of their wins in that series over Baltimore were by 5 or more runs. So complete domination in that last series. But we got to note, Dan and Andy, Yankees are at a rest disadvantage tonight. The Rangers had Monday off. I've mentioned this numerous times on the Morning Wager, which you can catch, of course, every Monday through Friday on either the WagerTalk or Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. Teams playing with the rest edge have performed very well over the last 2 weeks. That's teams that had the previous day off against an opponent that did not. We'll see if it continues moving forward. I also think it would be pretty difficult to argue that the Yankees aren't at a disadvantage when looking at tonight's starting pitching matchup, Dan. It's going to be Elmer Rodriguez making just his second career start. The first, as luck would have it, came last week against these same Rangers. And Rodriguez allowed 2 runs in 4 innings. That's not horrible, but he did have more walks than strikeouts, which is obviously never a good thing. And meanwhile, Texas, they're going with Jacob deGrom. We're talking about a guy here, needs no introduction, 2.01 ERA, averaging 11.5 Ks per 9 innings this season, a .96 whip, 2.92 FIP, just very good numbers all around for deGrom. He's allowed 0 or 1 run in each of his last 5 starts, including 6 strong innings of 3-hit ball last time out against these same Yankees. Now, the one concern you have to have with Texas is they are dead last in the American League in terms of runs scored. 3 runs or fewer in 7 of the last 14 games overall. They were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position in the loss to Detroit Sunday night. But I will say, for the season, and this is important, this is a road game, obviously, the Rangers scoring does increase pretty substantially when they are away from home. They average just 2.67 runs per game in Arlington, 4.58 on the road. So that's nearly double. And let's go back to that starting pitching matchup. I think the Rangers can score a couple runs off Rodriguez again, while deGrom should do his thing. I know the Rangers have the lowest bullpen ERA in all of baseball, 2.75. So, it kind of, I don't love leaving that out of the equation, but pretty clearly the Rangers' biggest edge in this game is with the starting pitching matchup. So let's go Texas first 5 money line, around -105. If the game's tied after 5, so be it. We'll live with the push. But I think there's a good chance, because of this starting pitching matchup, Dan and Andy, that the Rangers are ahead after 5 innings. The key for them will be obviously getting to Rodriguez.
I love it. I'm so shocked that you're coming on here with somewhat of a contrarian take. It is the Bryan Power way. So, yeah, yes. I love it that you lead off that. I'm like, the Yankees are pretty damn good, but they ain't going to be leading after the first 5. That's the encapsulation of the breakdown from my man, Bryan Power. We joked about Dinger Tuesday, man. Well, it was Dinger Monday yesterday for the Dodgers. Yes. They headed into Monday. I believe it was their longest stretch since like 2014 that they had not homered. Then they end up getting homers from Alex Freeland, Kyle Tucker. So the offense that had kind of gone cold on the 11 runs in the previous 5 for the Dodgers found its way against the Astros. 8-3 win last night. More of the same here. Shohei on the mound. Total sitting at 8.5. How are you looking to bet this one, Brian?
Yeah, no reason to expect Dodger Blue can't hang another crooked number tonight, Dan. This Astros pitching staff is just absolutely atrocious. Most runs allowed in all of baseball, highest bullpen ERA in all of baseball. They went with a bullpen game last night, so it didn't look good going in, and it didn't work out too well, obviously, on Monday for the Stros. Tonight, Peter Lambert getting the nod. He worked a season low 4 1/3 innings last time out, gave up only 2 runs, but second straight start, he walked 3 batters. Astros, by the way, ended up losing that game to Baltimore by a final score of 10-4. So they gave up plenty of runs, even with Lambert just allowing the 2. Again, Terrible bullpen. Going back to his time with Colorado, Lambert has not fared well historically against the Dodgers. 10.13 ERA in 7 career appearances against them. Now, you touched on it, Dan. Ohtani's going for the Dodgers. It's going to be his 6th start of the season. He's gone at least 6 innings each of the first 5. 3 of those, he did not allow a single run, but not great career numbers versus Houston for Ohtani. Remember, he used to pitch for the Angels. 3-6, 3.89 ERA. Granted, a lot of turnover. So I don't know how much those numbers mean, honestly. But I actually do think, guys, Houston can score some runs here over the course of 9 innings. Among American League teams, they've scored the 2nd most runs this season, trailing only the Yankees, who we already touched on. Top 5 in all of baseball in runs scored is Houston. In fact, they've scored only 2 fewer runs this season than the Dodgers, considering what I expect from the Dodgers offensively in this game. And remember, they're guaranteed to come up to bat all 9 innings. I don't think it takes much help from the Astros, Dan and Andy, to get this game up and over the total of 8.5. Of course, 9, a key number when it comes to betting MLB totals. So over 8.5 would be my look in this one.
Over, according to our friend BP Bryan Power. Bryan, it is $5 Tuesday as you got amped to our drop to start the show, I am sure. What do you have offered for folks? WT.buzz/BP is where they can find your page. What are they going to see over there?
Well, let's talk about MLB totals. I'm number 1 with MLB totals this season. Okay. Cashed another one last night with the under in the Padres and Giants. I know it did not get off to a great start. It was 2-1 after the first inning. Started sweating a little bit, but there were only 2 runs scored the rest of the game. With that win, guys, I'm now 16-2-1. My last 19 MLB over-under releases. That includes 12-1-1 the last 14 and a perfect 6-0 my last 6. On top of all that, last night's winner means we're 30-10-1 all sports since April 17th. So seeing the board very well, not just with Major League Baseball. And by the way, I don't want to confuse anyone. Tonight's $5 play is an MLB total, so that's what you'll have there. But let's not forget about the NBA playoffs either. We had a very, very profitable first round, going 11-4, our last 15 picks there. Number 1 in NBA win percentage over the last 11 months, 23-6 in the NBA playoffs going back to last year. And then there's soccer as well, where we're number 1 the last 2 years. So seeing it very well across the board. Hop on board, WT.buzz/BP.
Well, I'm just glad that over on the Morning Wager, our friend Mark Zinno finally lets you like talk soccer with a little bit more leg room, so to speak. Begrudgingly, he allows it. But I wanted to tell you, BP, that World Cup right around the corner. This is a safe place for you to come.
Thank you.
Let's break down some World Cup games together, my friend.
Right.
So,
that
World
sounds
Cup,
good.
Bryan Power, the best soccer handicapper at WagerTalk 2 years running, will be with us breaking down some World Cup games. So if Zinno doesn't let you do it at length, we got your back here, BP, in just a few weeks, my friend.
I just sneak it in, and people could check out today's edition of the Morning Wager. Ross, I'm rooting for certainly one of Ross's plays that he gave up in the first segment to come home, that being Cavs plus 3.5. Obviously, I'm rooting for an outright upset. No offense to the people who are paying us in the WagerTalk office, but that's just the way it is. I live in Cleveland. Zinno and I came up with an idea. If it does wind up being Cavs-Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and obviously that's a big if, even though the Knicks certainly took a big step. Dan, I know you don't want it to be Cavs-Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, okay. I forgot. You hate the Sixers. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But anyway, if it's Cavs-Knicks, Zinno and I might have stumbled upon a creative bet. And if you guys want to find out what that is, you guys can check out today's edition of the Morning Wager.
I love it. We got to get the T-shirts made. The Morning Wager, we sneak it in. I like that. Get the T-shirts made. Tune in the Morning Wager where we sneak it in. Bryan, always a pleasure, man.